current White House counselor John Podesta during the transition that the Obama team likes to be control freaks. IRN USA Radio News.
This is your Daily High, and I'm Andy Greenberg. Here's the question for the day. Can you name the 3 best health foods? Now think about it. As you think about it, ask yourself the following question. Can you also think of the worst foods that are out there for you? Now, that variety of bad foods you can probably think of in a second. However, the good foods, you don't really focus on that, do you? So you probably don't know what they are. Well, I'm going to help you out. In order, it is apples, almonds, and broccoli. That's right, apples, almonds, and broccoli. Now, why is that important to you? Because if you only know what's bad for you, all right, you'll try and avoid that. But in life, there are so many good things for you, not only in health, but in exercise, in the mind. Find out what they are and do it.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And now, it's Car Concerns with the award-winning new car dealer, Harry Douglas. And now, your car star, here's Harry.
Okay, here we are with Car Concerns Radio USA. I'm getting reports out of the North American Automobile Show up in Detroit that's happening right now at the Cobo Center. The opening this morning, and Chevrolet Corvette and Silverado named the 2014 Car and Truck of the Year. Chevrolet scores big. I can't say that I actually agree with those 2 picks, but we'll have to accept that. That's the North American Automobile Show's Cars of the Year, Silverado and Chevrolet Corvette. Of course, the Corvette is beautiful, no doubt about it, but with the price sticker that puts it out of the range for the average retail automotive consumer. Let's go to Myron Stokes. Myron, you've got some guests this morning. You want to introduce them?
Okay. Are they online now?
Yes, they are.
Okay, great. All right. Harry, you know, as we formed the Grand Prix
Exploratory Committee,
we reached out to a multitude of corporations, but since technology would certainly be at the core of a successful 36-hour green race, we were happy to bring aboard the good folks of Argonne National Labs, and and Forrest Jehlik is a research engineer who is rather expert, shall we say, in terms of developing the green racing model for Argonne, and has been implemented in like the American Le Mans series, green racing series, and rather extensive work demonstrating the performance viability of ethanol fuels, particularly E85. There's been great success with that, which Forrest will talk to you about. There's also been the recent controversy as far as ethanol fuels and the attempt, as represented by Bill S-1807, that seeks to remove ethanol from fuels altogether. Now, Harry, I know what your feelings are about ethanol, but the thing is, when the assertions are flying about that ethanol is somehow harmful to the environment when used in vehicles, and that it is affecting the food supply, it is quite necessary to forcefully rebut, if possible, those assertions. And that's why we have the Argonne people on right now, Forrest Jehlik and Jennifer Dunn. And Jennifer will talk about the updated Greek model, which shows that the claims about negative environmental impact and impact on the food chain are unsustainable. So that's why they're here now. So for that's what we're seeking to do here. So,
well, let me start with asking a question to Jennifer or Forrest. What my position is, from what I've heard on this show, and I've had some experts on the show, that this ethanol fuel is not actually good for the fueling system in your automobile. You got any comments on that?
Yeah, I sure do. Thanks for having us, folks. And this is Forrest speaking, and I just want to lead this conversation off by telling you that Well, Jennifer and myself are probably some of the rare few that really don't have any stick in the game one way or the other. We're pretty neutral on the stuff, and we just do research from a broad spectrum of technologies and so forth. And so ethanol is just part of our portfolio. And with regards to prior to coming to Argonne, I did engine development at General Motors, and so the issue becomes when you start taking a look at a fuel like E85 or even higher low-grade blends, let's say E10 to E15, there's really two parts to this question. Number one, if you have any of the manufacturers that have an E85 flex fuel vehicle out there, that will handle any blend without any issue whatsoever. It really doesn't matter. Manufacturers also don't have an issue with the E10 blends. The question becomes, with legacy issues, if the blend were to go up to, let's say, a 15% blend and so forth, the question becomes if there are some issues in the fueling system, if perhaps a fuel pump durability issue, fuel injector durability issue, or so forth, who's going to be, if there were a problem, then that becomes a liability for a vehicle that necessarily, when was designed, wasn't designed to handle that. And so there is some concern from manufacturers on that standpoint if they were to go to 15, depending upon certain vehicles, if that would be an issue or not. I haven't done the durability testing, so I can't tell you, but I can say for sure today E10 is not a problem, and if you have an E85 flex fuel vehicle, any blend in between nothing and 85% is no problem either.
So either one of those are good even in older vehicles?
Not E85.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. You would not. Nobody would want to run E85 in an older vehicle, and right off the bat, what you're going to find is just because of the chemistry of the fuel itself, the injectors. If it's a fuel-injected vehicle, you have to inject E85. You have to inject about 23% more fuel just because of the volumetric energy density of the fuel. And so an older vehicle wouldn't trim that out, and that's what you wouldn't want to do. But
and I remember being back, let's see, 10 years ago, I guess, at the North American Automobile Show, and General Motors, everything was green up here. They even had big corn posters and everything. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah, sure do.
And so I guess my question is, how far have we come since then? And it seems like we went backwards on this subject.
Well, I think so during the last administration, there was a push to integrate more ethanol, and actually Jennifer is an expert on this, so she's going to chime in here and give us a little bit better answer.
So your question is, where are we now compared to 10 years ago in our understanding of the environmental impacts of biofuels?
Yes.
Okay, well, I would say, in the past 10 years or so, we've really come a long way in our ability to understand from a life cycle perspective, which is the perspective that our group here at Argonne takes when looking at biofuels. We've really sort of refined our analyses, taken more things into account, really expanded our understanding of multifaceted environmental impacts of both corn ethanol and other biofuels, as well as their petroleum counterparts. And so we really have a better picture than we did 10 years ago, and we certainly continue to develop that picture both from the bio side and the petroleum side. And from the biofuel side, some of the key questions that people have asked are, are the life cycle greenhouse gas emissions of biofuels lower than the life cycle emissions of their petroleum counterparts? And when I say life cycle, I mean we're looking at it from a systems perspective. So for biofuels, that would include going all the way to the production of the fertilizer that's used to grow the crop itself,
right.
The production of the crop, and then the transportation of that crop to a biorefinery, so to speak, and then the conversion step itself, and then transportation and distribution of the fuel, and then final combustion in the vehicle.
Yeah, that's one of the questions I wanted to ask next. Has ethanol production become more efficient over the years? I know when it first come on board, you can't ship ethanol gasoline through pipes. You have to truck it.
Exactly. Yes, actually, ethanol production has become much more efficient. For corn ethanol, the national fleet of corn ethanol plants has shifted, so about 90% of the current corn ethanol plants in the U.S. use dry milling technology, which is significantly more energy efficient than wet milling technology. And additionally, you're probably aware that at corn ethanol plants, there's a co-product produced called dried distillers grains, and that can be substituted for animal feed. So that corn kernel is being, its utility is being maximized for making not only fuel but also animal feed. And so that's definitely a plus. And now there's another trend that's been going on for the past few years where corn ethanol plants are also extracting corn oil, which can be used as a feed for producing biodiesel. So we could even be displacing some amount of production of soy oil for biodiesel. So that's a trend that we're currently analyzing to assess its impact.
Yeah, to kind of jump on what Jennifer just said, a lot of people don't understand that when you take the corn and you process the fuel out of it, basically you're removing the protein and the starch, and the starch you're going ahead and using to convert over to ethanol. But the protein itself gets turned basically into food. It turns into animal feed that then gets used for animals and so forth. So that's something that's often not talked about, and we can kind of throw in there.
And how over the say last decade, how has the production of ethanol affected the food prices? You know, when it first came out, there was a panic. It's going to run up the price of bread. It's going to run up the price of everything.
Yeah. Actually, I took a look at some studies a couple years ago that really, when you took a look at a whole food basket, basically when you were taking a look at corn and the products, let's say you had a food basket, it was normalized to $1.
Hey, Forrest, I'm going to have to stop you right there. We're going to come back on the other side of this conversation, folks. I'm Harry Douglas with Myron D. Stokes. We'll be right back after this break. I'm always looking out for you. You can always call me 1-855-CAR-CONCERNS, 1-855-CAR-CONCERNS. I'll be right back after this break.
Take advantage of the Car Concerns Radio USA 10-year anniversary special, a 15-minute segment heard in 33 markets on a nationally syndicated radio show for only $125. This is radio that makes it economical and affordable for you to get the word out about what you do, driving your message home. It's the 10-year anniversary special, just $125 for a 15-minute airtime segment. Segments can be booked for a later date. There are limited spots available. Call Car Concerns Radio USA now, 1-855-CAR-CONCERNS. That's 855-227-2662.
Ah, the sound of small business, getting busier. Can you tell which one is using AT&T? Truth is, they all are, because businesses of all kinds can find AT&T customizable plans that fit their exact needs. Whether it's broadband, mobility, or nationwide voice, at AT&T, we can help your business get humming.
I need more receipt paper, please.
Call 1-855-877-4288 today and ask about special offers available for new small business packages. AT&T, rethink possible.
Moms of America, stand up and stop taking abuse from your kids.
I pledge never to let my kid disrespect me ever again.
I pledge to stop letting my daughter walk all over me.
I pledge to stop living in fear of my son's anger.
I pledge never to feel like a bad parent ever again. Because I'm not.
I pledge to stop letting my child's behavior control my home.
I pledge to be a mom with kids who listen, a total transformation mom.
I'm Janet Lehman, co-creator of the Total Transformation Program. We created the Total Transformation to help parents with difficult child behavior. Now I'm giving it away free. All you need to do is get the program and let us know how it works for you. We'll let you keep it for free.
Call 1-800-287-9157. That's 1-800-287-9157. Call now. That's 1-800-287-9157. That's 1-800-287-9157.
With over 1 million products, Grainger's your one-stop shop to help keep your facility running. And no one has more of the best brands, like Fluke. Grainger has an enormous selection of Fluke testing tools, including the VTO2 visual thermometer, a breakthrough in temperature measurement. The brands you want, the products you need, the good-looking radio guy you love to hear. Okay, I added that part. Buy your supplies smarter. Call, visit a branch, or click Grainger.com/Fluke today. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Geico says, let's make life simpler. You need to buy something, but you don't want to make a mistake. So what do? Scour the web? Collect sales circulars? Ask your brother-in-law? How about this? When it comes to car insurance, Geico has a 97% customer satisfaction rating. I repeat, 97%. So make it simple. Just ask a friend who has Geico. Then click or call. You could make it 98%.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Jay Farner here from Quicken Loans. We get a lot of tweets from folks that sound just like this. Jay, I bought my home in 2007. Since then, it's gone down in value. Now I owe more on my mortgage than my home is worth. Can I refinance? The answer may very well be yes. Recently, the government announced changes that may allow folks to refinance even if their home has lost value. For example, if you owe $300,000 on your mortgage, but your home's only worth $150,000, Quicken Loans may still be able to help you. Or if your current mortgage rate is higher than 3.99%, you've got to give us a call today at 800-QUICKEN. And for 3 years in a row now, J.D. Power & Associates has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation in customer satisfaction for primary mortgage origination. So, if your current mortgage is higher than 3.99%, or if you owe more than your home is worth, call Quicken Loans today at 800-QUICKEN or go to QuickenLoans.com.
For J.D. Power & Associates award information, visit jdpower.com. Important terms and conditions apply. Calls for cost information. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states and MLS number 3030.
This is Car Concerns with your host, Harry Douglas. Now, here's Harry.
Okay, here we are back with Car Concerns Radio. Yeah, the North American Automobile Show is happening up at the Cobo Center in Detroit, right there on the Detroit River across the street from General Motors Renren Center. We're going to be going back and forth all day long. You want to stay with us on Twitter. You want to stay with us on Facebook. We're going to be reporting. All the manufacturers will be giving their spiel on their new vehicles this morning in presentations, and we'll be right there. We'll be watching every bit of it. We've got the Car Concerns road crew on the ground up there in Detroit. So anyhow, let's get back to Myron Stokes and your guests, Myron, Forrest, and Jennifer. Let's see. The next question I had was, we did the food prices. Can my vehicle be converted to run on a mid-level blends? This comes in from the message board on Car Concerns Radio USA.
Well, that's a really good question that I don't have an answer to, and okay. The answer would be yes. It would basically, you'd have to change over in your vehicle. You'd have to change out components in your fuel system. So that would be your fuel pump, fuel lines, and probably your injectors, and then obviously your engine, your ECU, engine control computer, would require a reflash so it would handle the broader injection pattern. But that would probably be aftermarket companies, and I'm not exactly sure who's doing that right now. But it could be. I just don't know who's doing it.
And here's another important question that came in. What happens if I accidentally fuel my gasoline-only powered vehicle with E85?
Don't drive it. I'd recommend go ahead and drain the tank and go ahead and switch over to the fuel that's probably supposed to be in the vehicle.
I can remember having Pilot Oil Company on the show several years ago when E85 was the rage. How do those pumps differ from regular gasoline pumps?
Well, that I don't know. I'm not exact. Obviously, the material that they use in the pump would be ethanol compatible. But other than that, they function pretty much similarly.
I know, but what I'm saying is, Myron, you might know this. Is there a distinction between a gasoline pump and an E85 pump?
Remember I told you that I took a Flex Fuel SRX about 2,400 miles round trip. I found E85 about half of the way there, and the pricing. Say for Georgia was substantially lower, about anywhere from 85 cents to $1. But the E85 was clearly marked. If you happen to put E85 in your regular fuel vehicle, it will be because you were either on something or just or absolutely positively not paying attention, because the E85 pumps are clearly marked. Your chances of introducing E85 into your regular fuel vehicle is about the same as introducing diesel fuel, which is clearly marked with a different color of pump handle. I mean, it would just have to be the beginning of a comedy of errors. Because in my personal experience, there was no way on this planet that you could inadvertently introduce E85 because it is clearly marked, and in some cases there is a separate standalone pump. So
yeah, but Myron, we've got folks out there. We're not talking about you and me. We're talking about folks that just jump out of the car. They're in a hurry, and the next thing they know, they're filling their car up with E85 or even diesel.
But again, that is so incredibly. I use diesel simply because there is about as much of a probability of your introducing E85 into your regular vehicle as you are introducing diesel. Yes, there's the stupid factor, and no matter what we do in terms
come on, lighten up a little bit. I mean, people are in a hurry.
I'll jump in here real quick and
jump
on this. We have this is good stuff. We got to remember back. This isn't the long forever ago, but remember when we went through the biofuel change between unleaded and leaded fuel? And I'll tell you what, it sure was a lot more damaging to put leaded fuel in an unleaded vehicle because of the poison of the catalyst right off the bat. Now, you can put E85. When I was a kid, I grew up riding dirt bikes, and when I was a kid, I remember the old gasohol, and we used to throw that in our motorcycles, which weren't designed. We just changed the jetting on the carburetor to richen it up a bit. You can put it in a car, probably run poorly. Wouldn't be great for it. Probably wouldn't kill it off the bat like putting diesel in the gasoline or vice versa. But out of all the examples I just gave right there, it would be the less sinister of the options that would happen.
Okay. Myron, do you have any questions there?
No, as I said, because I've had the personal experience of going on a 2,400-mile journey, and I had a E85 map and all that. But I'm simply saying, I mean, it wasn't a matter of, I wasn't criticizing average Joe, but again, I would say that the probability of your inadvertently introducing E85 is about zero unless you're just absolutely positively not paying attention.
Well, I know, but that happens. You've seen the commercial. Lady, that's diesel.
I understand, but no matter what we do in terms of the technology that we introduce into vehicles, whether it's safety technology or what have you, remember when in the turbocharged vehicles of the 80s, some of them, they recommended that you allow the turbo to cool down, and that there was a specific process, if you will, if you wanted to preserve the life of the turbocharger. But most people have the mentality, as you've said, of fire and forget. They just want to get in, get out, start the car, what have you. And there's always going to be someone that, despite every conceivable safeguard in terms of proper marking of the fuel pump, of the fuel handle, and what have you, someone's going to make a mistake. However, as Forrest pointed out, there is far less danger to your vehicle if you introduce E85, as opposed to diesel or unleaded gas or leaded gasoline into an unleaded gasoline vehicle, because that's going to wipe out your converter right then and there. So, again, as Forrest says, the lesser and less sinister of the three evils, if you will. So, it is. I will simply state that there is far less potential danger to your vehicle if you inadvertently introduce E85 into a regular fuel vehicle than introducing diesel or unleaded into a leaded vehicle. So I think it is nothing that we have to be seriously concerned about, and nor should it be a factor in trying to say we better get rid of those biofuels because this is what can happen. And again, Harry, this is based on personal experience, being on the road for 2,400 miles on a flex fuel vehicle. And frankly, with thousands of these vehicles out there and all of the years of the development, and I've had the privilege of going inside of GM and Ford and Chrysler research facilities going back 30 years. So we're well ahead of the game in that. But what I do want to say to Forrest and Jennifer, this onslaught against
Hey, Myron, I got to go to the break right here. Hey, we'll come back. Hey, when I come back, Jennifer and Forrest, I want to ask you, what are the benefits of ethanol. That comes in from Rex down in Texas. We'll be right back after the break.
Take advantage of the Car Concerns Radio USA 10-year anniversary special, a 15-minute segment heard in 33 markets on a nationally syndicated radio show for only $125. This is radio that makes it economical and affordable for you to get the word out about what you do, driving your message home. It's the 10-year anniversary special, just $125 for a 15-minute airtime segment. Segments can be booked for a later date. There are limited spots available. Call Car Concerns Radio USA now, 1-855-CAR-CONCERNS. That's 855-227-2662.
Ah, the sound of small business getting busier. Can you tell which one is using AT&T? Truth is, they all are, because businesses of all kinds can find AT&T customizable plans that fit their exact needs. Whether it's broadband, mobility, or nationwide voice, at AT&T, we can help your business get humming.
I need more receipt paper, please.
Call 1-855-877-4288 today and ask about special offers available for new small business packages. AT&T, rethink possible.
Moms of America, stand up and stop taking abuse from your kids.
I pledge never to let my kid disrespect me ever again.
I pledge to stop letting my daughter walk all over me.
I pledge to stop living in fear of my son's anger.
I pledge never to feel like a bad parent ever again. Because I'm not.
I pledge to stop letting my child's behavior control my home.
I pledge to be a mom with kids who listen, a total transformation mom.
I'm Janet Lehman, co-creator of the Total Transformation Program. We created the Total Transformation to help parents with difficult child behavior. Now I'm giving it away free. All you need to do is get the program and let us know how it works for you. We'll let you keep it for free.
Call 1-800-287-9157. That's 1-800-287-9157. Call now. That's 1-800-287-9157. That's 1-800-287-9157.
With over 1 million products, Grainger's your one-stop shop to help keep your facility running. And no one has more of the best brands. Like Fluke, Grainger has an enormous selection of Fluke testing tools, including the VTO2 visual thermometer, a breakthrough in temperature measurement. The brands you want, the products you need, the good-looking radio guy you love to hear. Okay, I added that part. Buy your supplies smarter. Call, visit a branch, or click Grainger.com/Fluke today. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Geico says, let's make life simpler.
You need to buy something, but you don't want to make a mistake. So what do? Scour the web? Collect sales circulars? Ask your brother-in-law? How about this? When it comes to car insurance, Geico has a 97% customer satisfaction rating. I repeat, 97%. So make it simple. Just ask a friend who has Geico. Then click or call. You could make it 98%.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Jay Farner here from Quicken Loans. We get a lot of tweets from folks that sound just like this. Jay, I bought my home in 2007. Since then, it's gone down in value. Now I owe more on my mortgage than my home is worth. Can I refinance? The answer may very well be yes. Recently, the government announced changes that may allow folks to refinance even if their home has lost value. For example, if you owe $300,000 on your mortgage, but your home's only worth $150,000, Quicken Loans may still be able to help you. Or if your current mortgage rate is higher than 3.99%, you've got to give us a call today at 800-QUICKEN. And for 3 years in a row now, J.D. Power & Associates has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation in customer satisfaction for primary mortgage origination. So, if your current mortgage is higher than 3.99%, or if you owe more than your home is worth, call Quicken Loans today at 800-QUICKEN or go to QuickenLoans.com.
For J.D. Power & Associates award information, visit jdpower.com. Important terms and conditions apply. Calls for cost information. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLS number 3030.
Harry Douglas of Car Concerns Radio has been helping the American motorist with their auto financing problem since 2008, when the American Motorist Vote Campaign was founded. Thousands of American motorists have not only lost their jobs in this economy, but they've also lost their homes and vehicles due to repossession. If you are behind on your payments and facing possible repossession of your automobile, you need to contact Car Concerns Consulting, 1-865-622-3032. Harry's always looking out for you. Harry has financed thousands of vehicles for the retail automotive consumer over the years as an award-winning new car dealer. If anyone knows the ins and outs of automobile financing, it's Harry. Let Harry put these unknown banking loopholes to work for you. If you need the auto financing fix, just call Harry. 1-865-622-3032.
This is Car Concerns with your host, Harry Douglas. Now, here's Harry.
Okay, here we are back with Car Concerns. Hey, be sure to follow us on Twitter throughout the day. We're going to be reporting from the North American Automobile Show. All the manufacturers have their product announcements this morning, so hour by hour we'll be following those. They start about 10 o'clock. The first one was yesterday, and Ford introduced their all-aluminum F-150 pickup truck. How's that going to help gas mileage, folks?
Oh, come on! That's because you've got a aeronautical engineer running Ford Motor Company, and that's very apparent.
700-pound loss. That's pretty good.
And he announced this morning that he's going to be staying at Ford. So
he's going to be staying through.
That question is out of the loop. Okay,
no, not really, because I had it in my notes that I wanted to mention that rather significant breakthrough. So no, it's not out of the loop at all.
What's not out of the F-150 aluminum?
I'm sorry, it's aluminum. Yes, the aluminum.
Yes. No, I didn't mean that's out of the loop. I mean out of the loop the factor that Alan Mullally's going to leave Ford. He's going to stay.
But not really, because the aluminum F-150 wouldn't exist without Alan Mulally. That's a fact.
Well, what I'm stating, Myron, is that, there's been this big question if Alan Mulally would go to Microsoft and leave Ford. That's off the table now. He announced this morning on the Squawk Box that he's staying at Ford.
Okay. Very, very, very. I just wanted to mention something, Harry. I wanted to thank Dr. Larry Johnson, research fellow at the Transportation Research Center of Argonne National Lab, for bringing Forrest and Jennifer on the program. So I just wanted to give a shout out to Larry.
And if you're listening out there and you want to know what Argonne National Laboratory is, it's the Advanced Powertrain Research Facility. Is that right?
You got it.
Yeah.
So what else do you guys do up at Argonne?
Well, we got all kinds of stuff going on here.
That's what I figured.
We look at advanced transportation technologies on a vehicle systems level, anything from modeling to the vehicle systems themselves. And that would include electrification, fuel cell, renewable fuels, standard fuels, hybrids, you name it, we do it. And Jennifer's group, I'll let her tell you a little bit about what they do.
Our group analyzes various advanced transportation technologies, including biofuels, but also electric vehicles and others. We look at their life cycle, environmental impacts, and energy consumption across the board. And we have a model that we developed. It's called GREET, and that enables, it's free to the public, free to anyone who wants to use it and download it from our website. If you Google Argonne GREET, it'll pop right up. But it's a model that we provide to the public, researchers, government agencies. They can run their own calculations to determine, to basically compare on an even basis various advanced transportation technologies with conventional.
Yep. And additionally, our group at the Advanced Powertrain Research Facility, we also have a downloadable dynamometer database. We call it D-Cube. Okay. And a lot of the vehicle tests that we test here, we make all the data available to the public to go ahead and take a look at it and look at the results. So it's there for the taking.
Of course, Argonne is a large facility with many different researchers doing everything from basic to very applied sciences like we do. Forrest and I do the applied side.
Now, I guess the website explains exactly what you folks do up there, right?
Yeah, you got it. Yeah. It can be a mouthful, but...
It's an extensive website available for anyone interested, yeah.
We'll make it simpler. I'm a car guy that's also a researcher. Wish I was in Detroit right now looking at all the new iron.
Yeah, don't you feel out of place? I know I do.
I do. I really want to see that new Z06 Corvette that Chevrolet is going to be showing, I think, later in the day, and Ford's new F-150. So me and some friends are talking about going out there next weekend. Should be good.
I tell you what, it's always a big deal up there in Detroit. Today, of course, today is press day, where all the press people are allowed to They're in there today and tomorrow, and then they'll have the dealers come in.
Yeah, and Harry, that's about 6,000 to 7,000 journalists from all over the world.
Oh, believe me, I used to be up there I used to do. General Motors used to have me do the show every year up at the OnStar Sound Studios up in Tower 400 there. I guess you're familiar with that, aren't you, Forrest?
Yeah, I am. I remember going there every year when I was at GM, going to the show, and I tell you, it's like putting a kid in the candy store. I'll tell you what.
Yeah, I ran across a picture a couple of days ago of me up in the sound studio doing the show up at in Tower 400 there. It was a big deal to me. I mean, it was a chance to advance the show, and boy, we sure did.
That's awesome.
Hey, Harry, speaking of being slightly off the reservation, I just had to, even though I'm not in Detroit, but I wish I could be, I'm in San Francisco right now, and what it brought to mind was the 1968 movie with Steve McQueen, Bullet, and that rivalry between Charger and Mustang.
Right.
And what do you think, Harry? You think considering the Mustang GT and the levels of performance available, and that pretty awesome Charger RT, what about revisiting or a remake of Bullet?
Oh, that'd be good. They've remade every other movie. I don't know why not Bullet. Bullet was a classic, but as far as muscle cars go, and Forrest, you were with General Motors. I've always been a Camaro guy.
Oh, I got to let my true blue colors come out here. I'm a GM kid. I love the Camaro and I love the Corvette. And speaking of muscle cars and performance, to get us back on the reservation here, E85, we did some tests with a Camaro, a 2010 Circle Track Camaro with the LS3 engine in it, and we benchmarked it against race fuel of identical octane ratings, and ethanol makes more power.
Okay, let me ask you this. This is a question that come in on the message board here. What about money at the pump? Do you save money at the pump with ethanol, or does it cost you more to burn it?
Yeah, it really depends upon the region that you're at, but I think it's in today's market, it's relatively safe to assume that you save a little bit of money or it's on parity with gasoline costs. Now, you have to, a gallon of ethanol, E85, has less energy density per gallon of gasoline, so you need a little bit more to go further, but it's cheaper, so it tends to come out in the wash. It just depends on the region that you're in.
Right, and Harry,
yes.
You remember I did that 2,400-mile trip? The ethanol prices range from $2.79 to $3.10.
$2.79 to $3.10.
Yeah,
that would be a little bit cheaper than gasoline, right?
Yeah, $2.79 to $3.10. The highest price I saw was $3.10 at the one station in Georgia, where it was the same price, or just by pennies, of regular fuel. And then what did you say, Forrest, about it burning as a fit?
So ethanol, it's got a lot of benefits relative to gasoline. So if you were to take an octane to octane comparison, E85, 100 octane versus 100 octane race fuel, and you were to test an identical engine between the two fuels, you'll find, because some of the characteristics of the ethanol actually will generate more power. However, just because of the chemical nature of ethanol itself, if you were to take a gallon of ethanol and a gallon of gasoline and you were to burn them and measure the energy content of the ethanol is less. So you need to inject a bit more to go the same distance. However, if it's cheaper at the pump, and the economics work out, it actually can be cheaper. You just have to have a larger tank. That's it.
That's a big question here.
Yep.
Okay, Myron, anything you want to add there?
Yeah, what I wanted to, as the notes that I sent over said, there was a huge controversy right now. It was as we had been talking about this attack, if you will, on biofuels. So much so that they want to eliminate ethanol from fleet requirements altogether. So what I'd like to ask Jennifer and Forrest, knowing the intensity of this attack, of these attacks on biofuel, can you address the leading assertions made by the anti-ethanol groups
Absolutely. And again, we're neutral on this, but Jennifer can give a quick rundown on some of the environmental benefits, if you will, to using ethanol versus other solutions. And take it away, Jennifer.
Well, so one of the key topics of discussion in this debate is whether or not ethanol offers greenhouse gas benefit compared to conventional petroleum fuels or gasoline. And that's part of our job here at Argonne. We do look at that question very closely. And we have a recent paper that we published where we compare ethanol of a variety of flavors, as we sometimes say, to gasoline. So we looked at ethanol from corn, sugarcane ethanol, corn silver ethanol, switchgrass ethanol, and miscanthus ethanol. Those last two types are from two different types of gases.
Hey, Sharon, I got to cut you off right there. I got to go to this break. I'm Harry Douglas. This is Car Concerns Radio. When your money's on the line, call the line that's on the money. That's Car Concerns. 1-855 Car Concerns. Going to be right back after the break.
Take advantage of the Car Concerns Radio USA 10-year anniversary special, a 15-minute segment heard in 33 markets on a nationally syndicated radio show for only $125. This is radio that makes it economical and affordable for you to get the word out about what you do, driving your message home. It's the 10-year anniversary special, just $125 for a 15-minute airtime segment. Segments can be booked for a later date. There are limited spots available. Call Car Concerns Radio USA now, 1-855-CAR-CONCERNS. That's 855-227-2662.
Ah, the sound of small business getting busier. Can you tell which one is using AT&T? Truth is, they all are, because businesses of all kinds can find AT&T customizable plans that fit their exact needs. Whether it's broadband, mobility, or nationwide voice, at AT&T, we can help your business get humming.
I need more receipt paper, please.
Call 1-855-877-4288 today and ask about special offers available for new small business packages. AT&T, rethink possible.
Moms of America, stand up and stop taking abuse from your kids.
I pledge never to let my kid disrespect me ever again.
I pledge to stop letting my daughter walk all over me.
I pledge to stop living in fear of my son's anger.
I pledge never to feel like a bad parent ever again. Because I'm not.
I pledge to stop letting my child's behavior control my home.
I pledge to be a mom with kids who listen, a total transformation mom.
I'm Janet Lehman, co-creator of the Total Transformation Program. We created the Total Transformation to help parents with difficult child behavior. Now I'm giving it away free. All you need to do is get the program and let us know how it works for you. We'll let you keep it for free.
Call 1-800-287-9157. That's 1-800-287-9157. Call now. That's 1-800-287-9157. That's 1-800-287-9157.
With over 1 million products, Grainger's your one-stop shop to help keep your facility running. And no one has more of the best brands. Like Fluke, Grainger has an enormous selection of Fluke testing tools, including the VTO2 visual thermometer, a breakthrough in temperature measurement. The brands you want, the products you need, the good-looking radio guy you love to hear. Okay, I added that part. Buy your supplies smarter. Call, visit a branch, or click Grainger.com/Fluke today. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Geico says, let's make life simpler.
You need to buy something, but you don't want to make a mistake. So what do? Scour the web? Collect sales circulars? Ask your brother-in-law? How about this? When it comes to car insurance, Geico has a 97% customer satisfaction rating. I repeat, 97%. So make it simple. Just ask a friend who has Geico. Then click or call. You could make it 98%.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Jay Farner here from Quicken Loans. We get a lot of tweets from folks that sound just like this. Jay, I bought my home in 2007. Since then, it's gone down in value. Now I owe more on my mortgage than my home is worth. Can I refinance? The answer may very well be yes. Recently, the government announced changes that may allow folks to refinance even if their home has lost value. For example, if you owe $300,000 on your mortgage, but your home's only worth $150,000, Quicken Loans may still be able to help you. Or if your current mortgage rate is higher than 3.99%, you've got to give us a call today at 800-QUICKEN. And for 3 years in a row now, J.D. Power & Associates has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation in customer satisfaction for primary mortgage origination. So, if your current mortgage is higher than 3.99%, or if you owe more than your home is worth, call Quicken Loans today at 800-QUICKEN or go to QuickenLoans.com.
For J.D. Power & Associates award information, visit jdpower.com. Important terms and conditions apply. Calls for cost information. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states and MLS number 3030.
Harry Douglas of Car Concerns Radio has been helping the American motorist with their auto financing problem since 2008, when the American Motorist Vote Campaign was founded. Thousands of American motorists have not only lost their jobs in this economy, but they've also lost their homes and vehicles due to repossession. If you are behind on your payments and facing possible repossession of your automobile, you need to contact Car Concerns Consulting, 1-865-622-3032. Harry's always looking out for you. Harry has financed thousands of vehicles for the retail automotive consumer over the years as an award-winning new car dealer. If anyone knows the ins and outs of automobile financing, it's Harry. Let Harry put these unknown banking loopholes to work for you. If you need the auto financing fix, just call Harry. 1-865-622-3032.
This is Car Concerns with your host, Harry Douglas. Now, here's Harry.
Okay, I want to give a big shout out to Toyota. They have furnished our Car of the Week this week. It's been a 2014 Toyota Highlander Limited V6 front-wheel drive. We've been driving it all week, folks. Hey, it comes in there at a window sticker on the Maroni here is $41,900. Not bad for an SUV. We've enjoyed driving this vehicle. Hey, we want to invite you to go to your nearest Toyota dealership. Drive this vehicle. If you like it, buy the vehicle and tell them Harry Douglas sent you. Anyhow, Myron, finish the interview off here.
All right.
Actually, Myron, I'm sorry. I'm going to make a quick finish to what I was saying. If that's
Okay, that's good, Jennifer. Go ahead.
What I wanted to say in the end was that our current results show that corn ethanol offers a 34% greenhouse gas reduction compared to gasoline. And if you look at some other feedstocks that might be less energy intensive to produce, you could actually get that up to 80-90%. So from a greenhouse gas perspective, we do see a benefit from ethanol. And also, of course, ethanol would displace petroleum. And the production of ethanol, it does have some benefits to the rural economy as well.
And, of course, the production of ethanol helps us reduce the dependence on foreign oil sources, right?
Yes, that's exactly what I meant. Yeah, it does.
Yep, so that money goes to rural economies and not necessarily abroad. Good stuff.
Absolutely. And what I also wanted to mention, too, as far having the privilege to interact with the Argonne folks relative to the proposed 36-hour enduro race through the streets of Phoenix, Forrest made a very interesting point about the 2010 Camaro, Circle Track Camaro, and beyond as far as the increased power, peak power. But he also, it was also determined that 20 cars going 200 miles an hour for 36 hours has a carbon footprint significantly less than the Boston Marathon. Now, what does that tell you, Harry?
Tells me it's working. Anyhow, how do you? I wanted to get this question in. You talked about green racing. Do you folks work any with Michigan State University? You know they have a green racing Grand Prix car that they run on the circuit.
No, we haven't. We basically just worked on the protocol side, originally with the American Le Mans Series, and there's actually an SAE JDoc out there that people can go ahead and reference to take a look at how the protocols are applied. But no, we don't. It's a great university, but we actually haven't had any involvement with those folks.
I know when they first started the project, 5-6 years ago, we had those folks on the show quite often. I'll have to reconnect with them.
That'd be great.
That'll be great. And so so Harry, what we wanted to directly address this morning was or are the assertions being made about biofuels? And since I know what your position has been on ethanol, it was important to present this data so as to refute or at least mitigate the intensity of the allegations made. So what I wanted to know that, have they succeeded in answering your concerns across the board?
Well, to a certain extent, it really hasn't changed my position, but I'm not going to argue with people on the show here this morning. But let me tell you, here's my position. I had a gentleman who calls into the show quite often, Rob, and he used to work with one of the major NASCAR teams. I forget which one it was right off the bat, but he told me, and I tested this. He said, Harry, he says, if you'll burn 100% high octane gasoline.
I've got a bad phone that's going dead again.
Well, anyhow, and he said if you'll burn high octane 93%, he says you'll not only get a cleaner burn out of your vehicle, but you'll also get better gas mileage, which will justify the higher price. And I got to tell you, I've been burning 100% gasoline from a station right near the Car Concerns compound here that only sells 100% gasoline. And I got to tell you, there's a lot. I've seen a big difference in the performance of the Car Concerns Corvette. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, I would myself. If you have a vehicle, if you had, for example, a flex fuel vehicle that ran on E85 and it had either a wideband O2, which it would, plus adjustable spark timing, which it would, maybe adjustable valve timing, you will make more power out of the E85 than you will gasoline. It has 100 octane, and so you'll advance your spark curve, make a lot of push, a lot of power, and plus that it has a real high latent heat of vaporization. So what that does is that gives you better volumetric efficiency. To get a little bit wonky here, that gives you better volumetric efficiency in the engine. So you're going to get more power. But to that point, like I was stating earlier, 1 gallon of E85 has less energy density per volume, so you won't go as far. It just makes more power. So you either have to fill up more or you have a bigger tank, and if it's cheaper, then it really comes out in a wash as to cost. And so that's typically...
What about MPG?
My MPG, you got it, miles per gallon, exactly. So if you only have 80% of the energy density per gallon, then obviously you're only going to go about 80% of the distance on a gallon of that is gasoline. But it will make more power. And we did the dynamometer test on the exact identical engine, and we showed, and it published work on this, that it shows that it does make more power. Even 100 octane to 100 octane comparison, it makes more power.
Jennifer, would you address directly the allegations about usable farmland or the growing capability and capacity in rural in America's farm, being harmed by corn being grown for biofuel application?
Well, the lucky thing is that, in a way, the corn ethanol boom is now sort of a historical event. And so now data are becoming available that allow us to take a look at what did happen, for example, between 2004 and 2010. There's satellite data available that lets us look at that, and actually there's a paper out from Purdue University where they did just that. They took a look at some data on forested lands and agricultural lands in the U.S., and what they found was that really forested land did not decrease in the United States during this time of the agricultural boom. So you can look at the sand cover data. It's very difficult to attribute cause and effect. You can see land shifting, but from just these satellite pictures, you can't know what exactly drove that change in land cover. But from those data, you can see that the forested land in the U.S. did not significantly decrease during the years of the corn ethanol boom. What did change... Jennifer,
I've got to cut you off there because they're going to cut me off whether I like it or not. We've been talking to
Sorry,
Jennifer.
I wish I knew how long I had to talk.
I wish you did too. Hey, we've been talking to Jennifer, and we've been talking to Forrest up in here.
opinions you hear on the Business Talk Radio Network are those of the host, callers, and guests, and not necessarily those of this station, Business Talk Radio Network, its management, or advertisers. The information on the Business Talk Radio Network does not constitute a recommendation, offer, or solicitation to buy or sell any product or securities. Investing involves risks, so please consult a professional before investing. If you have any questions or comments about the Business Talk Radio Network, contact us at 203-323-7300 or at our website, businesstalkradio.net.